All right, we're back with another Pick'em video. It is Saturday, November 15th in the NBA. We have a smaller 5-game slate today, but of course, found some plays that I'm really liking, and that's what I'm gonna share with you guys today. So if that sounds cool, go ahead and leave the video a like. If this gets to 150 likes, I'll add another play in the pinned comment down below later on in the day. And comment something down below, subscribe, all those good things help YouTube push this video out a little bit more. Let's hop into the recap like we always do, and then we'll start talking about some plays for this Saturday. So hop into the recap of yesterday's plays in the NBA. Also, the NBA was very fun yesterday. 2 overtime games. Magic come back from a pretty big deficit. Wemby versus Steph. Steph drops like 50. Really fun, entertaining day overall. 0.8 units of profit, so we'll take the little bit of profit here. Let's talk about some of our individual plays. Franz Wagner over his 11.5. Rebounds and assists. He ends with 11, so Reed could have gone either way. He did get injured early in that game, but came back fairly quickly, so wasn't really an excuse there. But yeah, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, just didn't get there for us. Maybe could have gone to a better read, but with Powell out, we saw the data there, and he had a very good matchup this. But Giannis, let's talk about probably the best read of my season, definitely. 6.5 assists, 7.5 assists, 9.5 assists, all cash. He had 18 assists in that game, so hindsight's 2020. Imagine if we took a 15-plus assist game or something like that. I don't even know what the odds would have been. But yeah, Giannis was diamond up everywhere. It was a textbook matchup, and he comes through for us in an overtime win against the Charlotte Hornets. We also took Diabate's rebounds in that game. He had 11, so I don't think we didn't need overtime, but he ends with 11 anyway. So yeah, nice overtime win. Huge scoring output in that one as well. DeAndre Ayton over his points and rebounds. He dominated that line. Dominatin, that's what they call him, and he had a very good game in this one. We loved his matchup. That'll be another win. And then probably the worst read of the day would be Anthony Edwards here. 3.5, we laddered up to 6.5 3-pointers. Yeah, he had 1 3-pointer. And to be totally honest, the read was there. Obviously, we looked at the data. We knew he had a great matchup to shoot some threes. But I'm not happy with the read because he only shot 7 threes. If he had shot 9 threes, I would have been like, hey, he shot 9 threes, shot 1 of 9. We'll live and learn and move on. But he shot 7 threes. So, I'll get better in those areas. And again, hindsight's 2020. I don't need people going, oh my, what a stupid read on Anthony Edwards. Obviously, I know that it's a bad read. And if you make all your plays public, you're going to have some bad reads too. So yeah, we'll take some good with our bad. And we went up 0.8 units yesterday. We love to see that. That puts us up to, 4.9, almost exactly 5 units on the entire season. So we're going to try to get some profit today and keep it rolling. And just have to point this out, we hit another 10x on Underdog yesterday. So we're just continuing to cook. That's like 4 days in a row where we've hit a 10x or a higher parlay. So we've been cooking. If you want access to all my plays, there's a link in the description down below. But let's hop into Props Madness, actually start talking about some plays for today. And we're gonna start with Brandon Ingram. I'm looking at his 1.5 3-pointers, and I am looking at the under here. It's minus 102. It's favored on the under, and obviously the hit rate on this one does look good. We don't always just go by hit rate, and we're gonna break this down a little bit more, but obviously people that like hit rates, this one's looking pretty good. He's only over this in 33% of games. But maybe a little bit more for me is the fact that he's only averaging 4.4 3-pointers attempted per game. This Pacers team is not allowing a ton of 3-pointers per game. They're ranked 13th, so more middle of the road. And they also allow a bunch of free throws. Pick and roll ball handling is a little bit weaker. I think he's got better opportunities to score elsewhere. And again, he doesn't shoot many threes anyway, so might as well get to the rim. Obviously, a bunch of different offensive weapons in this team. I don't think Brandon Ingram's going to be needing to shoot a bunch of threes. And also, spot up another one, just middle of the road matchup. It's not a great matchup for any of these types of things, especially for a guy that doesn't shoot a whole bunch of threes. So let's take a look at the games he is going over this line. And you can see the 3-pointers allowed. This first game that pops off the board is the 3-point game. He shot 5 of 7 in that game, so still didn't even shoot that many. But they ranked 27th in 3-pointers allowed. You can see this game, they're ranked 10th, but he shot, again, 3 of 7. That's the max I'm seeing on any game. He went over against this team. They ranked 3rd in 3-pointers allowed. He shot 2 of 3. If he's going to shoot 2 of 3, we're going to tip our cap to him and say, hey, you shot very well from 3, but you only shot 3 of them. I'll take the under on that all day in a 1.5 line. So again, the games he's going over, sometimes he's jacking them up. This Hawks team is one. They ranked 21st. So I'm not loving this matchup against the Pacers to shoot a whole bunch of threes. They are not in a back-to-back, so I don't think he's going to be settling. Sometimes guys on a back-to-back, maybe a little bit of fatigue goes in there and they settle for a few 3-pointers, but he should be able to get to the rack on this team. Again, 25% of his shots, 23% of his shots, so 50% of his shots coming in the paint area. I don't think he's going to have a problem getting into that zone. And again, I just don't expect 7 threes today. If we get 4 even, he's still got to shoot 50% to get there, and he just hasn't been shooting at an amazing clip this year, especially lately. At the beginning of the season, he was kind of hitting everything. Lately has not gone over this line in a long time. So I'm liking the price in this one, to be totally honest, minus 102 for an under that looks pretty dang good. There just doesn't make sense to me that he's going to be jacking up a whole bunch of threes. If he shoots 4, that's what I'll live with. If he shoots 5, maybe you start teetering on a bad read. If he shoots 6 or more, then you're looking at a bad read. But at the same time, he could shoot 6 and still only hit 1. So liking this under 1.53 pointers going up against the Indiana Pacers. It's 6.5 point spread, and they're away. So Brandon Ingram, don't knock down your threes today. Hell, don't even shoot them. Hopping into our next play here, it's a guy that just burned us, but I don't typically ban people. If I see the read, I'm going to go right back to him, especially after a game that they didn't shoot particularly well. Maybe some threes fall today in a more difficult matchup. 32.5 points and assists for Anthony Edwards. Obviously, he's been great this season. This was a game he played 3 minutes, so if you want to just change the minutes real quick, we can make that one out of there, and then we got a 34.6 average on the season. He's been great. They are in a back-to-back situation, but he's been great in back-to-back situations so far this season as well. He's had one this season, played the Jazz, and played very well in that game. But he's going up against the Denver Nuggets, who he knows, I don't know if he doesn't like this team, but he does like to play Jokic because Jokic is the best player in the league. Maybe you can argue Shea, but Jokic is the best player in the league, and he likes to step up against these types of players. Now, Jokic is questionable right now. I hope Jokic goes out and plays because this is a spread that's close. If Jokic doesn't play, and also Christian Braun doesn't play, and Cam Johnson, who's probably been a net negative this year, he's also out. They're dealing with some injuries, and again, we don't want any sort of blowout if we're going to an over here for especially a superstar. But I like this spot for Anthony Edwards. He's just been great so far this season. And you can see pick and roll ball handling, they rank 18th. Free throws, they rank 14th. Transition, that's kind of 17 percentage points. That's not horrible. And then spot up situations, they're 16th. So it's not some amazing matchup in any regard, but it's also not a bad matchup in any regard. It's a very mediocre matchup for Anthony Edwards to take advantage of. And again, they're coming off a 14-point win, 36 minutes in that game, and he shot 1 of 7 from 3. So maybe knock down some shots, continue to get to the free throw line like he has been. And he's been really good so far this season. Dating back to last year, I don't want to look at playoff games because that's a different beast. And we can see games on back-to-backs. He played very, very well, over in 60% of games, which you like to see. And then the next thing I want to point to is the fact that he is playing the Denver Nuggets, and he played very well in these head-to-head matchups as well. So he's been going over this line against this team. He's played well against this team in general. I do hope Jokic goes out there and plays with that questionable tag. But yeah, Anthony Edwards, kind of a bounce-back performance here. Typically on guys that I go to and they miss, if you go to them the next day, they perform pretty dang well. And he had a great scoring output, just couldn't knock down some threes. Just put it all together in this back-to-back set, and I'm liking this 32.5 points and assist line. Minus 110, I think you can get this at minus 115 and minus 116 too. I think all those are playable. But yeah, really liking Anthony Edwards in this matchup against the Nugs. I talked a lot about his scoring. Totally forgot to mention any sort of assist reasons. Why am I going to the points and assists? Again, these are back-to-back situations. He's definitely making the right pass, also getting a lot of potential assists in some of these games. That one game against the Jazz so far this season, he had 14 potential assists in that game. So if they do start to swarm him in any sort of defensive scheme, I'm not worried too much about his scoring. It's really more of the idea that he can potentially get some assists. If they start swarming him, it gets a little bit more difficult. He'll be able to make the right read. We saw Steph go for 7 assists against this team, and we've seen a bunch of different guards go over this line against this team. So they don't allow a bunch of assists, but to guards specifically, it's not the worst case in the world. 17th rank to these guards positions. So yeah, I definitely think he can dime up. He's had a good history diming up against them, especially last year. Had a game, geez, I got so many filters on. Not back-to-backs. Had a game he had 9 assists, 6 assists, and then chipped in with 4. That's all I need. If he gets 4 assists, 4 assists plus, that's great for this line. And if he gets more than that, it's just icing on the cake. I don't really mind, or I'm not too worried about his scoring potential in this one. So the assists are going to be, added boost here at the 32.5 line. And as I'm discussing this in the video, I honestly like Anthony Edwards lines pretty much everywhere. 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus 110 on BetMGM right now. That's a great over, I think, too. Points at 27.5, also a good read. So honestly, any way you want to do it, 27.5 points, 32.5 points and assists, 37.5 PRA. I think Anthony Edwards is just going to be a good play today overall. And I'll let you guys decide that. But in the recap, you'll see the exact play that I specifically went to, and we'll clarify that. And I'm looking so deeply kind of into Anthony Edwards' line and also the other lines in this game because the third play of the video, we don't typically go to them, but we have gone to a few this season when I see the value, and it's going to be the Timberwolves money line at minus 125 on ESPN bet right now for the Timberwolves to beat this Nuggets team. Now, is it a hedge of some sort? It kinda, but I like Anthony Edwards to go over his lines regardless of if Jokic plays or not. But Jokic is questionable here. If Jokic is ends up getting ruled out, we're going to get huge value on this line for the Timberwolves at minus 125. And they're already dealing with Christian Brown is out of this game. Cam Johnson's going to be out of this game as well. So they already are dealing with some injuries. Now the Timberwolves aren't a back-to-back situation, but they are home. So they're not playing in Denver, which is great to see. So there's a lot of different things that I'm liking in this play. I like Anthony Edwards to score some points. That's going to go hand in hand with the win. But at the same time, if Jokic doesn't play, we're going to get a great value on this line, and hopefully this isn't a blowout and Anthony Edwards can still get his line. So I'm liking this one overall. I really like the Timberwolves in this spot. They've had good history against this Nuggets team in general. Remember, they were the team that bounced in the playoffs either last year or a few years ago, and they played them very well. So Jokic, if he gets ruled out, we're going to get huge value on this line, but even if he plays, I'm liking the Timberwolves in this spot, minus 125 going against the Nugs. And I don't want to try to force anything today, and honestly, I might only give those 3 picks. I'm going to talk about 2 other plays here, but just looking at the games, I have a play in this Toronto-Indiana game with the Brandon Ingram 3-pointers under. I'm also looking at RJ Barrett under potentially his points, rebounds, assist line. This is a 7-point spread. I don't have too much in there. I also have a bunch in this game. I was looking at Rudy Gobert to grab some rebounds over his 9.5 rebounds. Typically rebounds pretty well against this team. But again, the Jokic questionable tag is an interesting one there. Then we got the Lakers in Milwaukee, which I'd love to bet on, but Luka and Giannis both played 40 minutes yesterday. They're both teams on back-to-backs. So I don't know if there's any sort of injury news that's going to pop up on this one. This is a 15.5-point spread. This is an 11-point spread. So not a lot that I'm looking at. I was honestly looking at Santi Aldama in this lineup, 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He gets pretty much starter minutes, and he's very, very consistently right around his line. I don't mind his matchup today. But yeah, Rudy Gobert's rebounds was definitely a lean I was looking at. RJ Barrett, his line just seems really high for some reason. 30.5 PRA. He's only gone over it in 33% of games. And I don't love his matchup. Transition, spot up, yeah, maybe he gets the free throw line a whole bunch. But closing line value, this is the highest his line has been all season. And I don't particularly love his matchup today. So that one just seems a little bit high. But I don't think I'm going to try to force anything. But just want to give you guys some other sort of leans here, just because I think I'm only going to have 3 official video picks in this one. So jumping in the recap to clarify what we actually went over in this one and what we're going to for official video picks. We just talked about some leans, but I did go ahead and add RJ Barrett under his 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus 112 on FanDuel for 0.75 units. The only reason I'm doing 0.75 units is because we already have an under on Brandon Ingram, same team. Under his 3s, 1.5, minus 102 on DraftKings. So that's a full unit play. This is a 7.75 unit play. The way I ended up doing Anthony Edwards is doing his points line at 27.5, minus 110 on BetMGM for a half unit, and then also his points and assist line, 32.5 on the over, just in case he gets a little bit more swarmed in the second half or in the first half, whatever it might be, and he has to dime up a decent amount. That's the reason kind of went to that, just a little bit of a hedge. And then I do like the Timberwolves money line if Jokic plays or if he doesn't play, but obviously if he doesn't play, that'll be a huge closing line value for us. So those are the official video picks for the day, 3.75 units staked. And then I also want to shout out this just because we have been killing it in the Discord community. If you want access to all my plays, this was November so far, or is November so far, 72.4 units. It is a Pikkit account. That means it is verified. It literally syncs to my accounts. I couldn't add or edit this if I wanted to. It's literally synced to all my DFS accounts and my straight bets. And then October 2025, we were up 82 units. So NBA has been great to us. It is my bread and butter, like I always say. So definitely check out our Discord community, link in the description down below. It's very fun to just talk in there too about the plays. No one's toxic in there. So if you send a play, share a play, whatever it might be, no one's going to roast you for, sending a bad play. We're going to be like, hey, losses happen. You'll get it next time. And also we're celebrating our wins together in there as well. So we've been really cooking on Underdog. Just want to point this out. 3 days in a row hitting a 5-man, which is 10x plays. If you want to check out Underdog and get access to all my plays again, it's code RICHPICKS and link down below. You play $5, you get $100 in your account. It's a free $95 to mess around and play with. So definitely check out Underdog again, code RICHPICKS, link in the description down below. We have been absolutely cooking on this platform. And definitely check out the Discord, check out Underdog, and check out PropsMadness. That was the tool I was using all throughout the video. 25% off your first month, link in the description down below as well. So that will do it for me in this one. Enjoy your Saturday. Not my favorite slate in the world, to be totally honest, but definitely liking the angles that we went to. And good luck with all your plays, and have a good weekend and all those good things. And I'll probably see you tomorrow, to be totally honest. But if I do take days off, it's usually on a Sunday. Sunday basketball can get a little wonky, and I'll probably be focusing on football for the Discord community anyway. But yeah, that'll do it. Good luck with all your stuff. I'm not allowed to say that word, so good luck with all your plays. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.